Hey guys, it's Shanae with Entertainment Scoop, and today we're chatting with the wildly talented Jessica Marie Garcia, who currently stars in the hit Disney Channel series Liv and Maddie as Willow. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Pretty good. The weather's nice, so, that's
God,
always a plus.
beautiful.
So, people have seen you in Liv and Maddie, and they've also seen you in the middle playing Becky, and then also Huge. A lot of people want to know how you got your start here. Like, what was the catalyst that, prompted you to pick up your bags in Orlando, Florida, and say, hey, I want to pursue acting in Los Angeles?
Well, I've always wanted to be an actress. Being an only child, I've been ridiculously dramatic my whole life. But I went to a performing arts high school in Orlando, Florida called Dr. Phillips. We've had alum like Wayne Brady and Joey Fatone. So I was always around really, creative, amazing people. But I had a friend who auditioned for a manager out there in Florida. And I auditioned for them too, and they picked me up. And then right out of high school, I was like, I'm following them to California, and I'm going to do this. And that's exactly what I did. I was like 17 years old and just got in my car and never stopped driving.
That's awesome. And, while you were, doing those 3 projects and you were in a couple other things, you were also waitressing. And I find that very inspiring because, a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm on this show and I'm going to just stop what I'm doing. But you were actually hustling still.
Oh, yeah. I constantly had to think about my future. And I knew that, being an actress is so fickle. Like, you can have work for months at a time and then nothing for like a year. So I would wait tables Monday through Friday and sometimes I would be on the middle or Liv and Maddie Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, I would work at a restaurant in Studio City and did that I waited tables for 10 years. So yeah, I don't miss it.
But now you're no longer at the place.
I am not waitressing anymore. I'm still very capable if you have a part out there for me that needs a waitress.
That's awesome. And, you play Willow in Liv and Maddie, and I absolutely love that character. Can you explain what that audition process was and how you relate to that character?
It was a super fun audition. Actually, my name was Princess. When I got the breakdown, her name was Princess, and I was like, Disney Channel Princess, I'm going to be a Disney princess. This needs to happen. I'm going to do this. My dream is finally going to come true. And she was a tough girl. They didn't have like a whole lot. She was actually supposed to be really tall. Oh, wow. They wanted her to be super tall. There were girls in the audition with shape-ups because you know how they're taller. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So I went in and I did the actual audition piece was the first episode you ever see me in. The very last scene, I go up to Joey and he's at his locker. And I have this whole monologue planned out. And I'm like, hey, Joey, it's a really cool sandwich you're eating. And he's like, I'm not eating a sandwich. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but when I practiced this, it was at lunch, so, and she's like stumbling over her words, and it's hilarious. And that's the first moment you realize that she likes him, and she starts screaming at everyone else. She's like, Joey Rooney's mine, and no one else can have him. And John Beck and Hart, who are the showrunners for Liv and Maddie, they told me, they were like, that was never supposed to be in the show. That was just the audition for Princess, and you killed it, and we're going to actually keep it in there. So I've always taken that with me because I think that's such an honor. But then they changed the character to Willow, and they didn't tell me at first. So I get the script from my agent, and I'm looking through it. I'm like, there's no princess. I got the part, but then they completely took the part out, and they're like, oh, by the way, your character's name is Willow now? And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm still waiting on my Disney princess moment.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to happen one of these days. So another thing that is very fascinating about you is that you went through something that is life-changing, and you were able to overcome it. Now, can you share with us what that was and, what you did to, make you become a healthier you today?
About 2 years ago, I was diagnosed pre-diabetic, and that was the craziest thing I've ever had to deal with in my whole life. I think as a kid, you think that you are invincible, and, you're never sick. I never thought that, oh, yeah, I'm going to be pre-diabetic or diabetic one day. I just didn't think about it, and I never cared about what I put in my body, I've always been really confident, so the fact that I was overweight never bothered me, really. It did. Everybody, it's easy to say that, but I didn't let it affect me to the point where I did anything to change it, which isn't a great thing. But as soon as I found that out, I was like, I'm blessed that it's that I'm pre-diabetic, and that I can change it with diet and exercise. And I've always been the person that's like, you know what, you have to be strong, you can overcome anything, just, pray, keep your faith, and you can get through anything. And I was like, I have to put my money where my mouth is, I have to do this, I have to be that person. So from that day on, I took a garbage bag, went into my kitchen, took out all the junk that was in there, and there was a lot. I drank 9 cans of diet soda, a day, no problem, without thinking about it. I don't think I drank water for a decade.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it was not good. So really any change was going to help me. But as soon as I did that, I started learning how to cook. and I started cooking my own food and started like reading labels and educating myself on that, and it changed everything. And not sitting on the couch watching an entire season of a show because I would do that. I mean, not that I don't still do that sometimes, but it's just I knew how important it was for my future for me to have one. So I needed to get up and do something. And 2 years later, I've lost 70 pounds, and you look incredible. Thank you so much. And I'm just a happier person just because I feel healthier, and I've never looked back, and I don't think I ever will.
That's awesome. Now, what advice would you give to somebody who may be going through something similar but are apprehensive to share it or tell somebody?
Well, my biggest thing is, and it even trickles down to Willow. I feel like as a big girl, I was always really funny because I felt like I had to deflect anything coming to me, like any kind of negativity. So if I walked in and was like, oh, yeah, I'm fat, or like, oh, yeah, I'm chubby, you know what I mean? Then no one else will say it to me. So I would say that. And I realized that I would go home and still cry about it, or you know what I mean? Like I've been in a dressing room at a department store crying because I can't fit into something, and I know that other girls and guys go through that. And what I would say the most important thing for me was to educate myself on nutrition. Like I can't stress that enough. Like I learned the things that I was putting in my body, what they were doing to me. And then as I learned about it, I realized that I cared about myself more than I ever thought. So it made eating healthy and exercising so much easier because I knew I knew the benefits of it so much more. So my advice would really be to educate yourself and to know that you're worth it, because that's the hardest part. You think like, oh, you know what? I have so much further to go. Because people don't realize you lose 20 pounds. You're like, you lost 20 pounds. It's like, yeah, I got 60 more to go. And you get down on yourself. So I just think it's important for you to know it's not overnight, and you're worth the effort it takes to put in.
Yeah, that's great advice. So, I heard that you're auditioning a lot more. So aside from Liv and Maddie, like, do you have any upcoming projects, or, what do you want to venture in doing next?
Well, my biggest venture is I want to eventually have my own production company. Oh, that's great. I want to, right now I'm writing my first short film, and I'm going to write, direct, and star in it. And it's a really powerful piece. It's a lot different from the things that you've seen me in. It's definitely more dramatic, but it's a kind of a story about me, but in a different, like not necessarily me, but I think it speaks for a lot of Latina actresses right now, and that's the story that I want to tell because it's the one closest to my heart, really.
That's awesome. So make sure you guys look out for that. Please. Now, because you're part of the Disney family, I have to ask you these 3 questions. Okay, you ready? Yeah. All right. Who is your favorite Disney princess and why?
Ooh. It's always been Princess Aurora. I love Sleeping Beauty. When I was little, I used to watch it over and over again, but I couldn't say the words. So I would say to my mom, "Sippin' Booty, put on Sippin' Booty." And she was like, all right, don't say that outside of this house. But I loved Sleeping Beauty, and I really love Mulan because she's a warrior. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Really? Yeah, awesome. Just your personality and everything. Thanks. She didn't take no for an answer, and I really am such a strong feminist that I feel the fact that she was fighting for a country that didn't want her to fight, and she became a warrior in it was unbelievable. And I think that girls should really watch that movie a lot closer than the fact that she's a princess. Right.
And then your favorite Disney film?
We need more time than that. That's a lot. Actually, to be honest, my favorite Disney movie of all time is the Goofy movie.
Oh, really?
I love the Goofy movie. Oh my gosh, we could sing that all day long. Yes. Oh, stand up. Oh, I love it. It's so good. But yeah, I watch the movie whenever I'm sick. I always put that DVD in and just like zone out.
Now I saw that she went to Disneyland recently. What is your favorite ride there?
Ooh, I really love Space Mountain. Space Mountain is amazing. That roller coaster that's at California Adventure, I don't know the name of it. Cars? No, the one that just had the big Mickey. And you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what it's called, but it's amazing. And we rode on it 4 times in a row. Because Disney spoiled us, and we were allowed to do that, and that was amazing.
Yeah, but if it was me, I would have to wait like 3 hours just to go on that
ride. No!
Well, it was nice chatting with you. I know a lot of people want to, follow your journey and follow you, so where can they find you? Like, what are your social media handles?
Sure. Please follow me on Instagram at Jess_M_Garcia, because there are 3,000 Jessica Garcias in the world, and on Twitter at Jess Marie Garcia. And, follow me, please. Hey, I'm Jessica Marie Garcia, and you are logged in to Entertainment Scoop.